As you approach your 70s, have you ever wondered how much your home could be contributing to the stress in your life? It's easy to accumulate things over the years, and without realizing it, those items can start weighing you down, physically, emotionally, and mentally. Imagine walking into your living room, feeling lighter, calmer, and more at peace because you've let go of things that no longer serve you. But here's the truth. If you don't take action now, you may miss out on the freedom and joy that comes from a more organized and serene space. Research shows that clutter can lead to anxiety, hinder relaxation, and even affect your physical health. And as you enter this next chapter of life, simplifying your surroundings can make a huge difference. The good news is, there's a simple yet powerful way to begin making changes today. By decluttering just 6 specific household items, you could instantly create a more spacious, peaceful environment that supports the life you deserve. Letting go of these things not only helps reduce stress, but can also boost your happiness and well-being. Imagine enjoying your mornings with a clear mind, a tidy space, and fewer things to worry about. This isn't about tossing everything. It's about making smart choices that set you up for success in this next chapter. It's not too late to take control of your home, and I'm here to help you get started. So what are these 6 items? Stay tuned because I promise the difference it makes will surprise you. If you're ready to simplify and live a more fulfilling life, be sure to subscribe, hit that like button, and share this video with someone who could benefit from these tips. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Comment below with your experiences or any items you've recently decluttered. Let's take this journey together. Number 1, worn out and unused furniture. Sometimes the things we hold on to can weigh us down, even when we don't realize it. Have you ever felt like your home has become a maze where you find yourself avoiding certain rooms because they seem cramped or cluttered? Perhaps it's not the size of your house that's the issue, but the sheer amount of things inside it. Over time, we all collect items, mostly furniture, that we think we need or might need someday. But what we often overlook is how these things, once useful, can slowly begin to restrict our movement and affect our happiness, especially as we get older. I remember a time when I realized that the furniture I'd kept for years no longer served its purpose. Chairs that once hosted lively conversations, tables that witnessed many family meals, and old cabinets that held memories and treasures. But as the years passed, I began to notice that these items, which were once practical and cherished, started to feel more like obstacles than comforts. I was in my early 70s at that time, and like many of us, I started to feel like the space around me was becoming more of a burden than a sanctuary. I had accumulated an assortment of furniture, some out of necessity, others out of habit. They were comfortable once, but as I grew older, navigating my home started to feel more like a challenge. One particular chair stood out to me, a lovely old recliner I inherited from my mother. It had been perfect for lounging during my younger years. But one afternoon while sitting in it, I had an epiphany. This recliner had turned into a barrier. It took up too much space and left little room to move freely. Every time I tried to clean, I had to shuffle it awkwardly, and with each movement, it felt as though the weight of its size was pressing in on me. And it wasn't just the chair. The whole room was filled with unused furniture, each piece reminding me of something that had long outlived its usefulness. When I spoke to my daughter about it, she pointed out something I hadn't even noticed. I had 4 extra chairs in my living room, but I only used one. That simple observation was a turning point for me, a clear sign that it was time to declutter. So I took a hard look at everything around me, piece by piece. I started small. I got rid of the wobbly old chair that had been with me for decades, the one that always seemed on the verge of breaking whenever someone sat in it. I also removed the giant coffee table that had become more of a footrest than a useful piece of furniture. The difference was immediate. My living room felt new, more open, more inviting, and most importantly, easier to navigate. I could move freely without dodging obstacles in my own home. It felt lighter in every sense of the word. But the process wasn't just about clearing physical space. It was about making room for peace of mind. The more I let go of unnecessary items, the more I realized that simplicity was the real key to comfort. There's a freedom in creating a space that feels open and accessible. As we age, our homes should evolve to meet our changing needs, not be weighed down by things that no longer serve us. So take a moment to consider your own living space. Look around at the furniture you've accumulated over the years. When was the last time you used that extra table or those chairs gathering dust in the corner? Do they still bring you joy or ease? Or are they simply occupying space, physically and emotionally? The next time you're tidying up or sitting in your favorite chair, ask yourself if your home still serves you as it once did. If you find that your space feels more like a maze than a sanctuary, it might be time to make some changes. Start with just one room. Remove one piece of furniture that no longer serves a purpose. It's amazing how even the smallest change can make a world of difference. Clear the clutter, create space, and make your home a place that truly feels designed for your comfort and happiness. Don't wait. Start today. Your home and your well-being will thank you for it. Now that we've cleared the clutter in our living space, it's time to turn our attention to another area that often holds us back, our closets. Much like furniture, clothes can accumulate over time, becoming more of a burden than a blessing. Number 2, clothes you never wear. Clothes are not just about covering the body, they are about expressing who we are in that moment. Have you ever opened your closet and felt overwhelmed by the sheer number of clothes inside? You know the ones that once seemed so meaningful, but now just add to the clutter. It's easy to hold on to these pieces, thinking that someday they'll be useful again. But deep down, we all know that excess clutter holds us back, especially as we get older. I remember one Saturday afternoon, standing in front of my closet, planning to pick out something simple for a quick trip to the store. But when I opened the door, frustration washed over me. My closet was overflowing with clothes. Some I hadn't worn in years, others I had never worn at all. There were shirts that had shrunk in the wash, a suit I'd worn only once for a wedding, and shoes that were far too tight now. I spent more time figuring out what to wear than actually getting dressed. It was in that moment I realized how much my closet was weighing me down. I wasn't just struggling to find something to wear. I was surrounded by a constant reminder of a past self that no longer fit me. I knew it was time for a change, to make space for the present and for the person I had become. I decided to tackle what I now call a closet cleanse. I took everything out and divided it into 3 piles. Clothes I actually wore and loved, things that didn't fit, and a 3rd pile, those items I kept just in case. Those just-in-case pieces were the hardest to let go of. Dresses from the 80s I wore on special occasions, jackets I hadn't worn in years, and shoes that I adored but were too small. They represented memories of my past, but they no longer belonged in my present. Letting go wasn't easy, but it was freeing. I realized that decluttering wasn't about erasing the past. It was about creating space for new memories and the person I was now. When I finished, I looked at my closet with a sense of peace. Everything I kept, I actually wore. Getting dressed became quicker and simpler. No more wasting time staring at options that didn't fit my current life. The relief was immense. So if you find yourself overwhelmed by the clutter in your own closet, ask yourself, how many of these clothes truly serve you today? Do they reflect who you are now, or are they just taking up space and making your mornings harder than they need to be? If you haven't worn something in a year, is it still adding value to your life? It's okay to let go. It's not about discarding the past, it's about making room for the present. Start small. Perhaps tackle just one drawer or one section of your closet. Remove those shoes that pinch your feet or that dress that no longer fits. Once you begin, you'll realize how much lighter and freer you feel. The more you let go, the easier it becomes to recognize what truly brings you joy and comfort. And remember, you deserve a space that reflects the best version of yourself right now. Don't wait. Begin today. Let your closet reflect who you are today and let go of what's holding you back. Your future self will thank you for it. Just as we simplify our wardrobes to make room for the present, there's another space in our homes that often gets filled with things we no longer need. Our medicine cabinets. While our clothing choices may weigh us down emotionally, expired medications can actually pose a risk to our health. Let's take a closer look. Enjoying these insights so far? Comment number 2 to let me know you're still here. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to do so and turn on the notification bell so you never miss out. Let's continue the journey. Number 3, expired medications and old toiletries. Health is not just about what you eat or how much you exercise. It's about the environment you create around yourself. How many of us have a medicine cabinet or bathroom shelf filled with old bottles of medications and toiletries that have long since expired? It's easy to overlook them, isn't it? You tell yourself, I'll get to it later, or I might need it someday. But the truth is, those expired items aren't just taking up space. They could be putting your health at risk. I'll never forget a time when I realized just how important it is to stay on top of this. One afternoon, I was rummaging through my medicine cabinet looking for a bandage, and to my surprise, I found bottles of painkillers that were years past their expiration date, tubes of antibiotic cream that had dried out, and even prescriptions for conditions I no longer had. At first, I chuckled, thinking it wasn't a big deal. After all, who hasn't kept an extra bottle of something just in case, right? But then it hit me. This wasn't just clutter. It was a potential hazard. I decided it was time to take action. I pulled everything out, one item at a time, and started checking expiration dates. It was surprising how many products I found that I hadn't used in years. Products I had forgotten were even there. As I went through each item, I thought about how much time I had wasted holding on to things that didn't serve me anymore. Not only was it taking up valuable space, but these expired medications and old toiletries could also pose a safety risk if they were accidentally used. The process of clearing it all out was surprisingly freeing. I replaced the clutter with a well-organized cabinet, one that only held what I needed. The sense of relief was immediate, and I couldn't help but smile as I realized how much more manageable my health routine had become. I knew everything inside was safe and effective. There was no more digging through expired bottles or wondering if I was using a skincare product that had lost its potency. I think back to that moment often, and it's clear now, holding on to expired medications isn't just about tidying up. It's about health and safety. Think about it. We're careful about the food we eat, the exercise we do, and the air we breathe. But how often do we stop to think about what's lurking in our medicine cabinets or on our bathroom shelves? Skincare products, shampoos, and medications all have expiration dates, and using them past those dates can cause irritation, discomfort, or worse. So take a moment today to assess your own medicine cabinet and bathroom shelves. How many bottles are sitting there, collecting dust that you haven't used in months or even years? Go through them, check the dates, and get rid of anything that's no longer useful. It might seem like a small step, but it can make a big difference in the way you feel every day. You deserve a space where everything you use is fresh, safe, and exactly what you need. Clear out the old, and you'll make room for a healthier, more organized future. Don't wait. Take control today. Your health deserves it. After clearing out the clutter in our medicine cabinets, we might notice that another source of mental weight remains: old papers and documents. These can accumulate over the years, creating mental clutter that distracts us from living in the moment. Let's address that next. Number 4, old papers, documents, and unused mail. Clutter is not just about the things we can see, it's about the things that weigh us down mentally. How often do you find yourself sifting through piles of paper, searching for an important document, only to get frustrated by all the clutter surrounding you? It's that moment when you realize you've accumulated so much paper over the years that it's starting to affect your peace of mind. Old bills, receipts, expired warranties, unopened mail, they all pile up and create a mental fog that makes it difficult to think clearly. I remember a time not long ago when I reached my breaking point with the paper clutter in my home. I had a filing cabinet stuffed with documents dating back to when I was much younger, tax returns from the 80s, utility bills from years ago, and endless receipts I hadn't touched in decades. Every time I needed something important, like my insurance policy or medical records, I had to dig through piles of outdated paperwork. It was exhausting just thinking about it. One afternoon, after spending far too long searching for a document I needed, I decided that enough was enough. It took some time, but I started tackling the mess. I began small, sorting through one drawer at a time, keeping only the truly important papers. The rest, the bills I no longer needed, the receipts that had long expired, and the manuals I'd never looked at again, went into the shredder or recycling bin. It was such a relief to let go of the weight of all that paper. As I got rid of the unnecessary clutter, I felt lighter. The filing system that emerged was streamlined and manageable, and it felt good to know that everything I kept had a purpose. The most surprising part? It wasn't just my physical space that felt clearer. My mind felt lighter too. There's something about decluttering paper that lifts a mental burden. When your home is organized and your paperwork is in order, you feel more at ease. You stop stressing about what's buried in the piles and start enjoying the simplicity of a well-organized life. So I encourage you to take a moment and assess your own paper situation. How many piles of old mail, receipts, or documents are cluttering up your space? Have you been putting off dealing with them, thinking you'll get to it someday? It might seem like a small task, but decluttering your paperwork can make a huge difference in your daily life. Start by going through just one pile today. Take a few minutes to sort through what's truly necessary and let go of the rest. It's an act of self-care that will save you time, stress, and mental energy in the long run. You don't have to do it all at once. Just take the first step, and you'll start to see the difference. Once you've cleared away the clutter, you'll find that your home and mind feel more peaceful. Don't let paper control your life. Take charge and make your space and your mind clearer today. Now that our paperwork is in order, it's time to look at the heart of our home, the kitchen. A cluttered kitchen can be just as overwhelming as a messy closet or medicine cabinet, and it's often filled with items we hardly use. It's time to simplify this space too. If you're still with me and enjoying these insights, drop a number 4 in the comments to let me know you're here. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Let's dive into the next part. Number 5, kitchen items you never use. Your kitchen should be a place where creativity and nourishment flow freely, not a storage space for items you'll never use. Have you ever opened a kitchen drawer or cabinet and felt overwhelmed by the clutter inside? It's easy to accumulate gadgets and utensils over the years, convincing yourself that you'll use them someday. But more often than not, they just sit there, taking up valuable space and making it harder to cook and clean when you need to. I can speak from experience. Not too long ago, I realized that my own kitchen had become a chaotic mess of unused items. At 76, I had collected a variety of kitchen gadgets over the years: blenders, food processors, toasters, and old plates I didn't need. They filled up my cabinets and drawers, and every time I needed something simple, I'd end up digging through piles of forgotten tools. One afternoon, after I knocked over a stack of unused baking sheets while searching for a pan, I finally had enough. I knew something had to change. I took a deep breath and decided to evaluate everything in my kitchen, one item at a time. I asked myself, when was the last time I used this? If the answer was more than a few months ago, or if I couldn't remember the last time I even touched the item, I knew it was time to let it go. The blender that had sat unused for years, gone. The toaster that worked fine, but was just another thing taking up space, out. Even the plates I kept just in case were no longer necessary. Slowly, my kitchen transformed. I was left with only the tools and items that I actually used and loved. The difference was incredible. My kitchen felt lighter, and it was so much easier to find what I needed. Cooking became less of a chore, and meal prep was a breeze. More importantly, I found that I actually enjoyed being in my kitchen again, without the constant stress of having to move around unnecessary clutter. The lesson here is simple. A kitchen full of unused items doesn't make life easier. It makes it harder. And as we get older, simplifying our space becomes even more important. A well-organized kitchen isn't just about aesthetics. It's about creating a space that works for you, one that makes cooking, cleaning, and meal prep more enjoyable. When your kitchen is clutter-free, you can focus on the things that truly matter, like preparing meals for the ones you love. So take a look at your own kitchen today. How many unused gadgets and items are taking up space? Do you really need them, or have they just become part of the clutter? Start by removing one item that you no longer use. Take small steps, and before you know it, your kitchen will be simpler, more functional, and much easier to navigate. You'll be amazed at how much easier cooking and cleaning become when you only keep what you truly need. Let go of the unnecessary and create a kitchen that works for you. Your future self will be grateful for it. As we finish organizing our kitchens, we may find that the heart of our home isn't the only place that needs some attention. Many of us hold on to sentimental items, things that once meant a lot to us but no longer serve a purpose. Let's take a step back and explore how letting go of these items can lead to a more peaceful, present life. Number 6. Sentimental items that no longer serve you. Memories are not confined to objects. They live in the moments we cherish and the hearts that hold them. Have you ever found yourself holding on to something simply because it reminds you of a special time or person, even though it no longer serves a purpose in your life? Maybe it's a collection of old letters, souvenirs from past trips, or gifts you've kept for years. These sentimental items can carry deep emotional value, but sometimes we hold on to them out of habit or fear of forgetting. I can relate to this feeling. Not long ago, I decided to downsize and move to a smaller place, something I had been considering for a while. But when I started sorting through my belongings, I was overwhelmed by the sheer amount of sentimental clutter I had accumulated over the years. Boxes filled with old letters, mementos from birthdays, anniversaries and holidays, and souvenirs from vacations I'd taken years ago. Every item carried with it a story, a piece of my past that felt too precious to part with. At first, the thought of letting go of any of it seemed unthinkable. How could I discard something that held such emotional weight? But as I started to carefully go through each item, I realized something important. The memories were still with me, even if the physical items were not. I began to evaluate each piece. Did this item still bring me joy? Or was it simply taking up space and reminding me of a time that no longer felt relevant? Slowly, I started letting go of things that didn't hold true meaning anymore. I took photos of the items I wanted to remember, but no longer needed to keep. This way, I could still hold on to the memories without the physical clutter. It wasn't easy, but it felt freeing. As I pared down the collection, I found that I could better appreciate the present, and my new home felt more open, more peaceful, and more in tune with who I am now. The lesson here is profound. Letting go of sentimental clutter doesn't mean erasing the past. It means making room to fully embrace the present. Memories live in our hearts and minds, not in the physical objects we accumulate. As we age, it's natural to reflect on the past, but we also deserve to create space for new memories, new joys, and a fresh chapter in our lives. Holding on to too many items can weigh us down, and it can prevent us from truly enjoying the moment. If you find yourself surrounded by sentimental clutter, ask yourself, does this item truly bring me joy today? Or am I holding on to it out of nostalgia or guilt? Take it slow. Start with one box or one shelf. Don't rush into making decisions, but give yourself permission to let go of the things that no longer serve you. Surround yourself with only what truly brings you happiness, and you'll find that your space will feel lighter, both physically and emotionally. You don't have to forget the past to move forward. You just need to make room for the present. Let go of what's weighing you down and embrace the freedom that comes with a simpler, more meaningful life. Your future self will thank you for it. The lesson here is clear. As we age, letting go of the things that no longer serve us can create space for peace, joy, and growth. Decluttering isn't just about clearing physical space. It's about making room for new experiences, new memories, and a renewed sense of well-being. By simplifying our homes, we simplify our lives and make room for the things that truly matter. So take the first step today. Start small, but start now. Your future self will thank you. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more wisdom and tips on life after 70. We'd love to hear from you. Share your thoughts or experiences in the comments below. Let's keep this conversation going. Thank you for joining us, and we can't wait to see you in our next video. Take care, and remember, every day is a new opportunity to embrace life with grace and wisdom. See you soon.